horseshoe is back.
What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Bring the Juice Colts podcast. So the Colts have officially ended their first game of the regular season with a disappointing home loss to the Seattle Seahawks for the final score of 28-16. So a lot to break down in this game, so I'll try to remember it all. I'll try to get as much as I can compiled into this. So let's kind of hop into it first here. I'll kind of break down some of the numbers for you, and then I will kind of go one piece at a time and then try to explain it. So overall, Seahawks finished with 238 passing yards, 143 rushing yards, with a combined total of 381 yards. Colts finished the game with 223 passing yards, 113 rushing yards, with a total of 336. So both QBs finished with at least 250 yards throwing. Russell Wilson was 18 of 23 for 254 yards and 4 touchdowns. Carson Wentz, 25 of 38 for 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. And also had that forced fumble or the lost fumble in the third quarter. The running game, Chris Carson, 16 carries for 91 yards with a long of 33. Eskridge, 2 carries for 22 yards. Russell Wilson, 5 carries for 9 yards. And for the rushing for the Colts, only 2 running backs actually touched the ball today. Jonathan Taylor, 17 carries for 56 yards. Nyheim Hines, 9 carries for 34 yards. And Carson Wentz, 4 carries for 23 yards. Receiving, Tyler Lockett, 4 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, 4 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. And Disley, 3 catches for 37. Carson, 3 for 26. Everett, 2 for 20. And also had a touchdown and a couple others along the way. Taylor, 6 catches for 60 yards. Hines, 6 catches for 48 yards. Zach Pascal, 4 catches for 43 yards. And then Pittman, 3 catches for 29 yards. Zach Pascal had 2 touchdowns also, by the way. Strawn, 2 catches for 26 yards. Paris Campbell, 1 catch for 24 yards. Doyle, 3 catches for 21 yards. Okay, so let's kind of break this game down here a little bit. So let's start first with the quarterback, okay? Let's start with the quarterback here because that's where everybody's attention wants to go to right away. Let me just kind of break it down here. So Carson Wentz finished today throwing 66% from the field, 66, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. I will say this, that, he certainly did not look bad. So I think a lot of Colts Nation can kind of take that with a grain of salt, given what was displayed on offense today, is that Wentz certainly did not look bad. Now, to that note, Wentz did not look great. He didn't really look that great. There were a bunch of throws that, he could have, had back. I mean, I wouldn't say there was a ton of them, but there was a few that could have been taken back. Was there a couple times where he maybe could have handled the pocket a little better and gotten out of it quicker or gotten the ball out of his hands quicker? That's a possibility. We're going to discuss that here in a little bit. But overall, I wanted to say that first off, I thought Carson Wentz did not look bad. And I thought that, that is a somewhat positive sign to me, given what the offensive line did for him today, the play calling that was assigned, and everything else in between. Okay, so overall, I did not think it was bad. It certainly wasn't enough to get the job done, though. So let's talk about what's important here and why this offense only scored 16 points. Okay, so first drive, Indianapolis goes down for a grand total of 73 yards. 73 yards on the total first drive. Walked away with 3 points. Okay, and then about 2 drives later, Indianapolis ends up scoring a touchdown by throwing it to Zach Pascal. Which, if we're going to be completely honest here today, Zach Pascal was the only legitimate wide receiver on this field for Indianapolis at any point today. Obviously, 4 catches for 2 touchdowns, 43 yards. I think you could potentially say Mike Strawn, but even then, all those were contested. I don't think the throws to Strawn were necessarily great, but it was a good job by Strawn to make those contested catches. But nevertheless, still only 2 catches for 26 yards. But either way, we'll take it because those were both huge for first downs. I think overall, the issue we had with the offense really was a combination of everything. Okay? I don't think that there was only one particular section of the offense that was really bad versus the others really good. I don't think that was the case. Okay? So, obviously we can talk about the offensive line. Don't know what happened there. Don't know what happened. Davenport beat a couple times today. Nelson was beat a couple times today. Glowinski got beat a couple times. Braden Smith got put on his butt multiple times today. I think the only person I didn't see get put on his butt was Ryan Kelly. I think that was the only one. And I was at the game. I watched that offensive line. And believe me, Braden Smith and Julian Davenport did not protect the edges well at all today in pass protection. Okay? And they were really unable to get a push up front either. I mean, the Colts averaged 3.3 yards a carry. And that was with everyone. I mean, Hines averaged 3.9 and Taylor averaged 3.2. So, there really wasn't anything that the Colts did today that they did well. Now, give credit to the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. They got a lot more pressure on Carson Wentz today than what I thought they were going to be able to get. Okay, even with Davenport being in there, I thought Smith was going to be able to hold the edge a lot better. I thought Nelson was going to do a lot better. Obviously, I was pretty wrong about that today. They did a great job of getting pressure on Wentz most of that second half. And Wentz just was unable to really do anything with the football because of the fact that he had somebody in his face almost every time. Do I think that has something to do with the fact of why maybe Wentz had a few throws that weren't that great? I think that was probably what a good portion of them were. Was that he got nervous because of how much he was getting hit. And this is the Indianapolis Colts here. This is what we're known for. This is what we're known for is blocking people up front and making a statement. Well, Seattle's defensive line made the statement today. We did not. And that's why we lost that one. Because the offense could not get consistent. The running backs were not able to find holes, except for the first drive. The wide receivers were not getting open very well today. Give credit where credit's due to the corners. There was almost no separation for anyone on the wide receiver corps today, except for a few routes. And again, the offensive line just not really living up to standard, which is really odd considering what we know what they can do. And I got to put blame a little bit here on the play calling here. Coach Reich, I appreciate putting it in the hands of your playmakers, aka with Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. Again, Taylor had 6 catches for 60 yards. I thought Taylor did very well receiving the ball today. I thought he was good. I thought Hines did fairly well with receiving. Again, every time they made a catch, there were positive yards. So I'm not going to harp on that too much because they were positive plays. I can't go wrong with that. Okay? My only issue is I don't believe we opened the full arsenal. And that gets me back into my original point here with the play calling. Coach Reich, we haven't opened a playbook at all in week 1. Okay? I know this is beyond Coach Reich. The Colts haven't won a home opener in almost 8 years, I think it is now. This goes beyond Coach Reich. But we're not talking about the past. We're talking about now. And as far as I remember, Coach Reich has not won an opener since we've started this. Okay? Obviously, all of the blame is not on Coach Reich. Execution-wise, this team continues to not be ready week 1. And I haven't even gotten into the defense yet. We're about to get into that in a minute. But yet, it always seems like week 1, we're just not ready. We're not ready. Obviously, we weren't as healthy as the Seahawks were today. That certainly didn't help. Certainly didn't help that our left tackle and our best corner were not available during this game. Okay? That's obvious. But, I'm just getting more and more frustrated at the Colts just not coming out ready to play the way we expect them to week 1. Okay, and that's just, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't really want to get too deep into it because I just don't want to. But, yeah, I mean, good fair blame here on, Reich and the offensive staff for, not really doing a great job with mixing up different plays, in my opinion, even though, again, I didn't mind some of the plays that were being ran. What's up, football fans? Do you want an advantage on your sports betting this year? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their computer model scans hundreds of thousands of bets every year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, to player prop bets. If you don't want to use their model and use your own research, that's fine. They can help you with your researching needs. There's sharp data to know who the pros are backing, the line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success and over-unders and spreads, and team lineup, breaking news, and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success on leaderboards and rankings. Head to the App Store or Google Play now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/juice to get started. Enter the discount code JUICE for a 25% off any of their subscription offerings. Find all this information here in the description and make sure to check out their BetMGM in the description to receive a free year of BetQL. No subscription statuses, nothing. Also check out their sportsbook offer pages if you live in an eligible state for free offers upon signing up. Don't miss out on the chance to beat your sportsbooks this football season. I just felt like we could have done a little more. Now, to the defensive side, obviously the first half was atrocious. The first touchdown they scored, I'm not even going to get mad at Khari Willis. I'm not even going to get mad at the defense for that. That was a terrific throw, and that was a even more terrific catch by Lockett. Lockett is the king of the NFL at making catches over his shoulder without having to look around. The dude can look around and still be looking like this and catch it, and it still doesn't look like it's real, but it does. And that was a tremendous play by Lockett. So I'm not gonna get mad about that. What I will get mad at is the fact that in the second quarter, when it felt like momentum was starting to come back on our side, when it was 14-10, and the Colts got their first sack of the game in the second quarter, when DeForest Buckner got his first sack. The next play, you give up a 70-yard touchdown throw to Tyler Lockett, and he just got over the top of you. That's the one I was mad at. Perfect momentum swing, and then all of a sudden, it just got thrown out the window. The defensive line got no push in the first half. We weren't able to stop the run. They were constantly getting 4 yards every time they ran the football. And then Carson obviously had that big run in the first drive where he ended up just getting away from us on that stop at the third or the fourth down marker. So it's whatever. So in the second half of all things, the defense really started to show up. The defense really did a great job of limiting the Seahawks to 1 touchdown in the second half. They went out and did their job. They gave the offense plenty of opportunities to score and help come back. All the momentum was completely against the Colts defense in the second half, but they still found a way to make it a game up until the last few minutes. I'm okay with that. I like that. Only thing that sucks is we can't keep having this every year at the start of the season where the defense just comes out completely flat in the first half and then does it okay in the second half. I just don't think that's how you can do this. You can't do that. This team needs to be more consistent on defense all 4 quarters. It can't be one half. It can't be the first half and then give up 3-4 touchdowns in the second half. Can't give up 3-4 touchdowns in the first half and give up none in the second half. That'll win you some games. But against good teams like Seattle, I mean, I know it worked for Green Bay last year. Thank goodness it did. But in truthful honesty, that's not going to win you a lot of games against good teams like this. It just won't. And especially right now, when this offense is still trying to figure itself out, with Carson Wentz at the helm, you can't afford to have stuff like that. Special teams, obviously Rodrigo Blankenship, 1 for 1 on the field goal, and 1 for 1 on the extra point. So good job there. Rigoberto Sanchez, some good punts. Colts did well on the special teams today. No question about that. I mean, guys, at the end of the day, this is a disappointing loss. Of course it is. You never want to lose. But at the end of the day, everything I said here, the constructive criticism here, okay? I'm obviously mad because everybody's mad when you lose your game, okay? I'm not going to go over here and say that, you know, these guys stink and that this season's over. I'm not one of those people, okay? We lost a game. The Colts have been in this situation for many times over the last 10 years. Many, many times. And yet the Colts still find a way to have continued success. Okay, so that's why I'm not freaking out about this. Obviously, I'm mad because the Colts didn't win, and there was a lot of things we could have done better to win this game. But at the end of the day, they faced a really good Seattle team that's probably going to win 11, 12 games this year. And you just have to go and do better the next time. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Obviously, coaching needs to take some responsibility. They need to do better to make sure this team is ready next time. The offense needs to execute better, and the defense needs to do more efficiently. I'm just saying, everybody just take a chill pill on this, okay? Obviously, we're all kind of upset about it, but I think that there were some positive things that the Colts could take away from this. I'll name a few, just real quick to end this video. The Colts got great pressure in the second half. sacked Russell, I think, 2 or 3 times in the second half. That's what you need to do. That's what you needed to do. That was what I wanted to see. That's the kind of stuff you need, which is good. They got more consistent pressure, and it made Russell Wilson have to really concentrate on his throws. He couldn't sit in the pocket and do what he needed to do. Colts did a better job of shoring up the run defense. Overall, in the second half, the defense for the Colts did everything necessary to make sure the team still had a chance to win, which is good. And there were some plays that the offense did make. There were 1 or 2 good runs from Hines and Taylor that were good. There were a couple of good runs also where Taylor had to grind out some yards, but he did it, and it made it work. It was moving yardage. Carson Wentz had some good throws to a couple of players. There was a good throw to Paris Campbell, good throws to Zach Pascal, some good throws to Doyle. You know, I felt that they did a good job of reaching out to everyone. I thought that was a good job. And the only thing I'm upset about is they didn't get Paris Campbell more involved. I'm sure I'll talk about that at some point later in the season, but that's it. I felt, again, that there were positives that the Colts can take away from this. There were some positives. There were some really good plays that the Colts made on both sides that you can go into this next week and say, we can work on this. The Colts are certainly going to have their work cut out for them as they face the Rams here in week 2. But nevertheless, Colts fall in this one. They'll just have to work on it and get better at it. Just have to become more efficient. That's basically the biggest news I have here. That's going to do it for this one here, guys. Let me know what you think of this game. What are some things that you wanted to see more of? What did you think that was actually positive? If there's something you can actually make that's positive on this, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much again for the support. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, BetQL, the only app you will need to beat your sportsbooks. Find their information along with a 25% off discount code in the description of this video. Make sure you go check that out. And also check out their special BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL and other sportsbook sign-up offers and bonuses.